The St. Louis Cardinals already got gold this offseason, and now they've added some silver, thanks to Alec Burleson.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafford, a former national radio sports anchor, born and raised in St. Louis. I'm a lifetime Cardinals fan, and I'm your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. Big shout out to the everydayers for being here with us throughout the season and now into the offseason. For those of you who are new to the show, welcome in. We hope you enjoy the Cardinals content. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving you all the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So download the app today. Today's episode, we finally got some roster news to go through. A couple of guys got claimed by teams. Some guys have been sent away and will no longer be a part of this organization. And we also had an addition to the 40-man roster. But we start with the big news from Thursday night. Alec Burleson, a.k.a. Biscuits, is officially a Silver Slugger Award winner. Congratulations to Biscuits, as we love to call him. We went through his stats after he got the nomination, and barring some sort of catastrophic voting errors, it was almost certain that Alec was going to walk away with this award over fellow nominees in Brendan Donovan, who also had a strong season for the Cardinals, and the Padres' Jake Cronenworth. Burley dominated them in almost every major statistical category and scored himself some hardware, acknowledging him as one of the best hitters in the National League in 2025. That's what these awards are about. Burleson led the group in batting average, slugging percentage, OPS plus, had a 125 mark there. The dude was good. He was better than good. He was awesome. The Silver Slugger Awards, in case you're not aware of, voted on by the MLB managers and coaches. It's not like, the fans are putting votes in for this one. And it goes to the top offensive players at each position in both the NL and AL. American League Silver Slugger Award winners will be announced tonight. But it goes to the three outfielders. You get the utility player, which is what Burley got. And then there's an offensive team of the year in each league. In the NL, it was the Rockies, Hunter Goodman at catcher. The Mets, Pete Alonso at first. D-backs, Ketel Marte at second base. Padres, Manny Machado at third. The D-backs, Geraldo Perdomo at shortstop. In the outfield, you had the Mets, Juan Soto. The D-backs, Corbin Carroll. And the Cubs, Kyle Tucker. Then in a stunning upset at DH, the Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani takes home the award. Who saw that one coming? Team winner went to the Dodgers. No shocker there either. And then you had Burley. Then you had Burley in the utility spot. Fourth year that the utility Silver Slugger has been awarded, and Burleson is the fourth different winner in the National League, following Brandon Drury, who won with the Reds, but then we traded to the Padres, if memory serves. Cody Bellinger, Mookie Betts, some pretty good names there. Burley had a great season, right? Stat-wise, hit 290, 18 dingers, 69 RBIs. Nice. And an 801 OPS. Cardinals' first Silver Slugger Award winner since Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado did it in 2022. Speaking of Goldie and Nato, I thought it was really cool that the Cardinals were able to get both of them on board, and they put together this congratulations video package for Burley that included both of them. Adam Wainwright did the intro and did most of the speaking, and then it was Ryan Ludwig at the very end to welcome Burley into the Silver Slugger Club as a member of the St. Louis Cardinals. I retweeted that video out last night, so you can check that out on YouTube if you haven't watched it already. Now, the first thing I noticed, if we can go back to the grouping of the winners here in the National League, the first thing I noticed about it, including Burley, is that a lot of these guys played on teams that didn't make the playoffs. Did you notice that? You had three Diamondbacks players, three of them. You had Alonso and Soto for the Mets. You had Goodman for the Rockies, and then Burley with the Cardinals. None of them were in the playoffs this year. All that firepower for Arizona and in New York, and yet they were all at home on the couch, just like the Cardinals when the postseason began. I just kind of thought that was interesting. It just kind of shows you how important having both sides of the equation, both the hitting and the pitching, is to being a playoff team. So for those of you out there that are like, Cardinals just need to get some hitters. They need to slug their way into the playoffs. Doesn't always work that way. Some more stats on Burley, courtesy of Daniel Guerrero, friend of the show from SCLtoday.com, Post-Dispatch. In his third full season in the majors after arriving in St. Louis as a late-season call-up from Class AAA Memphis in 2022, Burleson batted .290, 343 on-base percentage, 459 slugging percentage in 139 games, 18 homers, doubled 26 times, produced 69 RBIs while playing first base, the corner outfield positions, and serving as the DH. Set career highs in batting average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, doubles. Held a 708 on-base plus slugging percentage, the OPS, against lefties after finishing 2024 with a .515 mark against them, which obviously is a big jump. And that was one of the things coming into 2025 was can Alec Burleson be in the lineup against lefties, because he was so bad against them in 2024, where as much as you wanted to put him in there, it's like, dude, he can't freaking hit him. Proved everybody wrong, including myself in 2025, that, give me some time, dude. I got this. I can hit the lefties. Ended up ranking in the top 15% of major league hitters for whiff rate, and in the top 14% strikeout rate, and top 18% for average exit velocity per StatCast. In a 91-game stretch from the start of June through the end of the regular season, he slashed .295, .351, and .483, really shining those final 67 at-bats, hitting .313, slugging .507. And I said this when the season was ending, that Burley's strong season, it kind of snuck up on me, because he did get hot over, as you know, Guerrero pointed out, over the last, 91 games of the season, and was very hot in the final month. You had a lot of disappointment from the Cardinals in 2025. You know, there was the trade deadline when basically waving the white flag, you're trading pieces away. You're like, hey, we're done. That's a bummer. You had the inconsistent play of the team all around, where for a few games you're like, here we go. They're going to go on a run here. And then they would fall flat and lose to teams like the Pirates and the Rockies. And you're just like, what happened here? So you had the attendance plummeting. Obviously that was a big storyline, because you would see Busch Stadium and it's just endless amounts of open seats, nobody coming out to the game. So you can see why, maybe it was a little difficult to notice Burley's silver sparkle, if you will, through all the negativity in 2025. But he did it. He stayed true, was consistent, and really came on in the second half. So kudos to Alec Burleson. So now you've got a Gold Glove winner in Masyn Winn. You've got the Silver Slugger in Burleson. Winn's 23, Burley 26. Those are two nice pieces if you're a team that's rebuilding, right? You want to build around these guys, don't you think? And I know there's been discussion surrounding the possibility of trading away Alec Burleson. But if you're Chaim Bloom, and if you believe this is not some flash-in-the-pan season, and if you go look at Burley's history, he has shown nothing but offensive success during his career. Batting title in the minor leagues. Was a good hitter in college. Is now a very good hitter, a Silver Slug Award-winning hitter in the major leagues. Shouldn't we be building around him? Unless you feel that this isn't real, and that this is the top it's going to get. It's never going to get better, and you want to trade him now. I don't understand why that would be the thing. Like, I want to keep these kind of guys around. I want to keep the productive guys around. I had somebody in the comment section say, you wanted to trade him. I don't remember ever wanting to trade him, but if I did say that, then I'm wrong. I don't want to trade him. I want to build around him. I want Masyn Winn, and I want Burleson to go along with this current core that you want to move forward with. Guys like Ivan Herrera and Victor Scott II and J.J. Weatherholt. Hopefully, a resurgent Jordan Walker and Nolan Gorman. Pitching-wise, Matthew Liberatore, McGreevy, Kyle Leahy, Liam Doyle, Matt Swanson, some of these other arms that are coming up. Like, this is your core moving forward. I don't know if trading Burley is the answer here at his age and just at age 26 doing what he's doing. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me unless somebody's going to come at you with some mega package that you just can't turn down. But Can you see anybody really doing that? Like, I wouldn't think so. So anyway, I would love to see him on this team moving forward. I don't want to move him. If I ever said that in the past, I apologize. Cardinals did make some more roster moves on Thursday as well. Lost a couple of players on waivers that we need to talk about. One of them near and dear to my heart. We're going to go through those guys next, coming up on Locked On Cardinals. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I, we make decisions every day. Some good, some bad. But on Prize Picks, when you do good, when you do select something right, you can get paid. And that's what we want. We like money. Don't miss any of the excitement of the sports season, whether you're following the NFL, the NBA, maybe both, like I do. There's no better time to jump in on the action. If you haven't tried it yet, I'm telling you, Prize Picks is the simplest way to play. You just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. You can do more if you want to, but at least 2 player stats. And if you get them right, you win. And it takes less than 60 seconds to make your lineup. This isn't something that you're going to be pondering over for hours and hours and stressing about. No, it's simple. And you can play anywhere Prize Picks operates, including California, Texas, and Georgia. I'm a big fantasy football guy. I'm a big fantasy NBA guy. So both of these are more exciting when I'm using Prize Picks. That's what it's all about, having more fun with it. The new Stacks feature is a game changer for both the NFL and the NBA. Nikola Jokic is the guy that I go with all the time for the Nuggets. He'll be back in action tonight. You can pick more on his points, his threes, his assists, his rebounds. He's incredible. And if something were to happen to Jokic, heaven forbid, if one of your players leaves a game early, the injury reboot is going to save your lineup from a loss. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code Locked On MLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Locked On MLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you enjoy daily Cardinals content, you can follow the podcast on X at @LO_Cardinals. We're on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram as well at Locked On Cardinals. Plenty of roster moves across Major League Baseball on Thursday, and the Cardinals had their fair share of moves, but not many of them really affected the Major League roster as much as they affected what's going on with the 40-man roster. Now, per John Denton at MLB.com, the Cardinals were looking to clear some space so they can protect some of their top minor league prospects from the Rule 5 draft, which is going to happen next month. Now, those who are unfamiliar, not everybody knows everything about these things. So the Rule 5 draft, real quick, allows clubs who don't have a full 40-man roster to select certain non-40-man players from other clubs. Clubs draft in reverse order of the standings from the previous season. Not everybody selects anybody. You don't have to do that. Players signed at age 18 or younger need to be added to their club's 40-man roster within 5 seasons, or they become eligible for this draft. Players who signed at 19 or older need to be protected within 4 seasons. So that's why you see some of these guys who, may have been signed at 18 and, they're maybe in their 4th season now. And they haven't been, added to the 40-man. Now that you're seeing other clubs are starting to make moves off their 40-man, moving people so that they can add these guys. Denton points out that the Cardinals, they got a lot of work to do, to be honest with you. They got till 5 p.m. Central Time on November 18th to create spaces for some of these guys. We've mentioned some of the dudes that they're going to be protecting for sure. Leonardo Bernal, their catcher, number 4 prospect, according to MLB Pipeline. He's a guy that's got to be added. Outfielder Joshua Baez, who just had that huge breakout season with Springfield. He's got to be added. Pitcher Bryson Motts, who's number 21 in the pipeline, got to be added as well. So those are 3 that are for sure going to be put on there. He also brings up guys like Pete Hansen. He's a pitcher, 3rd-round pick back in 2022. Max Ratchik, a former minor league pitcher of the year for the Cardinals in their system. Those guys are the guys that he thinks both will get protected as well. He also points out that you got to protect the injured guys too, and got to make some difficult choices. Tekoa Roby obviously was in line to be a huge piece of the puzzle. He got hurt last year. Tink Hent always seems to be hurt. Cooper Jerpy coming back from an injury. That's your number 8, number 12, and number 13 guys in the pipeline. Sim Robertson, number 28, another dude injured. These are pitchers who suffered significant arm and shoulder injuries that could spill into the 2026 season. A lot of big prospect names right there that need protection. So if you had to choose from those last, 4, where it's Roby, Hentz, Jerpy, Robertson, I think Robertson is the odd man out, right? That's the one I'd cut bait with if I had to. But the rest of them, I am surely not ready to move on. Even the oft-injured Tinkins, I'm not ready to move on yet. Figure it out. But they're going to have to do something with these guys. Now, people that they moved off the 40-man already. 2 names that were most familiar out of yesterday's movement was former first-round pick Zack Thompson and then center fielder Michael Siani. That's right. Everydayers know about my love for one Michael Siani, my guy who once upon a time in 2024 had this Gold Glove caliber defensive season. I became enamored with the guy. I just loved his game in the outfield. Played 124 games that season. Made some incredible plays in center field. You loved it. You loved the grit, the effort, the speed. Was all over the place. He's part of the Gold Glove chatter for a while before he ended up getting hurt, if you remember. In fact, Denton pointed out that he ranked 5th in MLB in outs above average at 16 that season. The dude was really fun to watch in the field. At the plate, he was terrible. Dude couldn't hit a lick. He batted just .228. Then last year, Victor Scott wins the job in spring training, and rightfully so. And Siani was stuck in Memphis for most of the year. Now, being that Siani is a former Red, my wife is from Cincinnati, roots for the Reds. I rescued a legit game-used Michael Siani jersey from when he was with the Reds. It was their City Connect, the black ones that they wear. I bought one of those from the Reds team store back in 2024. I was like, nobody is going to buy this. He's a Cardinal now. Cardinal fan should have this jersey. So I still have that, and now he's gone. So now I don't know what the hell to do with it. But the Atlanta Braves claimed him, if you were wondering. So goodbye to you, Mr. Siani. We will miss you. Thank you for the memories. Not as moving as that moment was with Siani. This next one actually is a really sad tale of how injuries can derail a prospect's career. The Cardinals have outrighted pitcher Zack Thompson, the left-hander who was the number 19 overall pick back in 2019. Did not pitch at all last season, spent most of the year on the 60-day IL, twice shut down from throwing with pain in his left shoulder. I'm sure many of you remember the roller coaster that was his career, where they take him out of Kentucky. After he finished his junior year, he was 6-1. He was a stud, 2.40 ERA in 14 starts. He struck out 130 hitters over 90 innings that year in college. So was a big-time prospect. Came up to the big leagues, and the Cardinals could not figure out what they wanted to do with him. Remember, they're like, you're going to be a starter. You're going to be a reliever. And they just kept going back and forth. And whether they want to admit it or not, I think that screwed him up mentally. I really did. They didn't know what they wanted to do. And then they started doing the same crap with Matthew Liberatore. And I'm like, stop it. Can you guys just pick a lane for these guys and let them be? But he had that strong 2022 season where he was used as a reliever, right? And then they did the yo-yo thing with him in 2023. Numbers weren't as good. Injuries started. And that was that. 52 career MLB games, 12 of them starts. 6-10, 4.50 ERA. And because I don't know whether I love the pain of it or just, I like doing the research side of stuff. When any draft pick doesn't pan out, I like to go back and see who else is out there in the draft that the Birds could have had instead of Thompson. Next pick was the Seattle Mariners. They took George Kirby. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Anthony Volpe went to the Yankees at number 30. Michael Busch, who just hit 9 home runs off the Cardinals last season with the Cubs, went number 31 to the Dodgers. Gunnar Henderson was the first pick of the second round to the Baltimore Orioles at number 42. Ryan Nelson went to Arizona at number 56. He's been pretty good for them. Hunter Brown. How about Hunter Brown? Superstar with the Astros right now. He fell all the way to the 5th round, so it's not like the Cardinals missed out on him. Everybody did. But could have, would have, should have, right? Could have, would have, should have. So you can do this every year with every team in every sport, but I love looking at drafts in all of the sports and reflecting on how many choices that the scouts and the decision makers who are these know-it-alls, how many of them they get wrong. It truly is a crapshoot in almost every draft in every sport. And when you hit Yay. When you don't, you're an idiot, right? So just injuries are a part of every sport. It's a shame when something like this happens, like with Thompson, who clearly had talent and is cut down in his prime. He's only 28 years old. And maybe somebody will take a chance on him, but that shoulder has just been a mess for a while now. More moves by the Cardinals. That ain't all. We got more. Another pitcher was claimed by a division rival, no less. We'll talk about that and wrap things up coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA, even if you miss the start of the game, which happens, or you just want to ride the hot hand in a particular game. FanDuel has got the live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comeback. So you're watching a game, you're like, oh, no, I didn't get the bet in before the game started. The live bets is where you can go, and you can be like, yeah, send it. Boom, you're done. Plus, you can combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game more exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. I mentioned Nikola Jokic earlier. God tier when it comes to stuff. Victor Wembanyama is an awesome one to go in on. Mentioned yesterday, Tyrese Maxey, Josh Giddey, Scotty Barnes. These are some other names that maybe you don't know quite as well, but maybe need to start looking at because their odds are a little bit better than some of the superstars. So just think about it. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com if you haven't already and sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. For your second listen, you can find Locked On MLB, hosted by Sully, who brings you a daily blend of humor and baseball throughout this offseason. I'm sure we'll have some crossovers with Sully at some point in the offseason. He can tell me all of the terrible things that the Cardinals have done over the past few years that we are regretting, right? You can find Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. So the next name that fans might recognize from this past year, pitcher Rodri Munoz, who was with the team after they claimed him off the Marlins. I think it was in November of last year, actually. He ended up getting claimed by the Cincinnati Reds, who just love them some St. Louis leftovers. Every single year, they come dipping into the Cardinals pool like, oh, who can we take? Rarely does it work out for them. Sometimes it does. But in his career, Munoz has thrown 93 and 2/3 innings between the Marlins and the Cardinals. 6.73 earned run average, 19.5% strikeout rate, but an 11.9% walk rate, 32.9% ground ball rate. Some of that's good. Some of that's not so good. Solid arm. That was the one thing that is very attractive about Rodri Munoz. He's got a great arm, but we were warned from our friends, Jeremiah and company over at Locked On Marlins, that the dude has got control issues. And if he could ever figure out the control issues, then you might have something. Normally, he'd been a starter. The Cardinals tried him as a reliever instead because they didn't really need a starter last year because everybody was healthy. They weren't very good. Tossed 57 and 2/3 innings over 38 AAA appearances with a 3.28 ERA, 12.1% walk rate. Yeah, that's high. Did punch out 30.8% of the batter's face. Ground balls on 47.8% of balls in play. Those last two stats are why the Cardinals were intrigued by him. And we're like, okay, maybe we got something here. But he would get up to the big leagues and nothing would work. 8.18 ERA in 11 innings. And now he's out of options. So the Cardinals are like, well, time to move on, buddy. Sorry. The club has also outrighted left-hander Anthony Veneziano, making him a free agent as well. He appeared in 2 games for the Cardinals last year. Made 10 appearances for Memphis, 4.38 ERA and 12 1/3 class AAA innings. Other moves included, this was an addition. Infielder, outfielder Bryan Torres has been added to the 40-man roster. 28 years old. Led the Cardinals farm system in batting average this past year, 328. Actually 8th best in all of minor league baseball. Led all minor league players with a 441 on base percentage. Yes, thank you. Can I have more? 905 OPS and 104 games for Memphis. He entered the offseason as a Rule 5 draft eligible if he had not been protected. So Cardinals obviously are like, no. We like what we got here. Joined the Cardinals in 2024, spent 2 seasons in independent ball. And according to Daniel Guerrero, was away from affiliated baseball before inking that minor league deal. Left-handed hitter, has batted .330 and posted a .428 on-base percentage in 224 games across AA and AAA. All he does is hit. The bulk of his innings defensively, according to Guerrero, second base, .973 fielding percentage, but all he does is hit. All he does is hit. So does he have a future? Is he one of those late bloomer guys at age 28? I mean, who cares, right? If he can hit, he can hit. See what he's got. We'll see him in spring training. In other prospect news from the Arizona Fall League, the Cardinals' Chin-Wei Lin, Darlin Saladin, and Miguel Ugueto was named to the NL roster for the annual Fall Stars game in the Arizona Fall League. Chin-Wei Lin obviously is somebody that is hard to miss. 6'7", 23 years old. Not a great ERA, kind of ghastly. 8.68 and 9 1/3 innings this fall. He does have 14 strikeouts, though. According to Guerrero, he's going to be inactive for this game anyway, so it doesn't matter. But he's somebody that, the Cardinals are hoping to make something out of Taiwan. Saladin, 22, 0.90 ERA with 16 Ks and 10 innings. Hello. Would you like to come to our bullpen? Ugueto, 23 years old, owns a .333 batting average, .373 on base percentage through 15 games. The game is going to be on Sunday night in case you want to tune in for that. Other news, the Cardinals announced that they will be playing an exhibition game against the Class AA Springfield Cardinals on March 23rd at Hammonds Field in Springfield, Missouri, which will be their first visit since 2017. So Cardinal fans in southern Missouri or in the area, maybe Arkansas, Oklahoma, whatever, you want to come up and see them, you can do that. So that'll take place on March 23rd. I wonder, just thinking out loud, does Liam Doyle get the nod in that game? Because I would guess he starts at Springfield this year. I would guess. But maybe he gets the nod against the Cardinals, and we can see what he's got against major league hitters. So we'll see. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, please give us a follow on X at LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio. We're on TikTok and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. Please like, subscribe on YouTube. If you haven't already, we're now past the 13,000 subscriber threshold. Thank you very much. Going to make our push. Now we got to go to 14. Now we got to go to 15. Can we get to 15 before opening day? That's a hell of a goal. If we can do that, I'm taking you all out for steak dinners or Emo's Pizza, whatever you guys want. We'll go do it together. You guys are the best fans in baseball for a reason, and I'll see you next time on Locked On Cardinals.